how are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing fabulous. This is a fabulous month, and as you know, our topic for May is dream, which is my favorite topic.
Yes.
Well, tell me a little bit what you know about dream, and I will also show you a formula about that I have created for answering the questions related to dream.
Oh, I'm very intrigued and interested to know what that might be. So that's exciting. I was thinking about this and thinking about our discussion today about dream and dreaming. And to dream something into reality is using our imagination in such a way that it goes from the abstract, what we think about and dream, like we daydream something into reality. It is really about using our imagination well and envisioning well with clarity, like we were talking last month, because the vision I feel and the dream are interrelated. For me, dreaming really is not just about using the brain. It's about a heart-based understanding of the feeling, the passion of what it is we want to dream into reality. So from the abstract into the concrete, there is a process, and it actually is part of being human that's pretty intriguing and interesting from my perspective because it's about consciousness, the conscious and the unconscious working together to create in physical reality. That's kind of mind-blowing.
Yes, yes, it is. And just think about what you mentioned about conscious and unconscious, and there is a subconscious, right? At a
Yeah.
middle layer. And unconscious is that vast area of unknown,
Mm.
vast area of unknown, and the distinguished bit, so as you know, the dream come from our strategic module. Sorry, a strategic dimension. And a strategic dimension, we have three modules. We have aspiration, vision, and dream. And the reason dream is most my favorite one is because it takes you to that level that aspiration and vision cannot go. Okay, so it's that vast layer of unknown, or the big infinity that we see, that possibilities that normally in aspiration and vision you cannot find. But combination of all three, aspiration, vision, and dream, creates that strategic mindset that can take you to a level that nobody have gone before, right? So that's the key of understanding the dream module. And it's not the dream that we think about as dream. A lot of people misinterpret dream as one of their goals, because they can say, okay, I want to serve millions of people. That's their dream, but they're limited by their imagination.
Mhm.
So at the same time, they can say that I want to own an island, and that's limited by their imagination, because that's not a dream, that's a goal.
Right.
Dream itself is unknown. So if you can verbalize it, it's not a dream. Means dream can become a goal once you are able to verbalize it. Do you see the difference? When you're able to
Yeah.
verbalize it, for example, you want to say that I wanna own an island. That's a verbalization of something that you have dreamed about, and now that's a reality. And when it is reality, you set a goal to achieve that. So dream becomes a goal, and then goal then requires actions to achieve them. But dream itself is not a goal. Dream itself is the unknown. So that's mean if you are not able to verbalize it, then that is the dream. Means you now go to the unknown to find it. So in coaching, what we do, we go to the unknown to find your true dream. So there's the difference between the dream that we talk about and the true dream. So we find your true dream and unearth it to the level of known. And when it is known, that becomes a goal. So dream converts to a goal. And once it is known, it becomes a goal. And now you can put actions to achieve them. So if you look at the whole process, we are bringing something from unknown, making it known, and then converting it to actionable items to achieve them. So significant process if that can be achieved.
Yes, it so is. And I want to go back a little bit, if I may,
Mhm.
to the process. Most people want to jump. They want to jump to the end goal. I want it now. But part of the bringing it into reality piece, which is what I was talking about from abstract to concrete reality, is really the journey and process of deciphering what is the dream, the clarity of that, which is the envisioning, which we talked about last time, and how clarity is very important, and the belief. And it's not just I believe blindly in something or have faith. The belief that just because someone says this is impossible, and there's so many examples of this where successful individuals have been told, oh, that's not possible, we can't do that, and yet they
Yes.
achieve it because they had the belief in their heart. And I mean that from a feeling perspective, the feeling that this is my calling, this is happening, this will happen, and putting the steps in place using the imagination, envisioning, and bringing the thinking mind into alignment and coherence with this to then proceed towards the goal in concrete physical reality. So, it's not having airy fairy ideas up there and leaving them there. It really is the art and the talent, which is where we come in to support and facilitate the creation of that, how it would look like here, and the iterations that we might need to make in terms of mindset to align the coherence between what I want to passionately bring into the world, what that would look like, and how do we get there. So I think these are very important discussions because, as you say, often the dream is misinterpreted and misunderstood in terms of how to view it and how we can bring it into this reality. And that threefold process is very important. It's actually a Steiner process, which I like to use with all my clients and to teach it because the thinking, the feeling, and the doing, they're all interrelated. If one of these is out of sequence or not in coherence, like I like the wording I like to use, then we're not going to have the outcome that we want. At the same time, having said that, sometimes the outcome that we want is not what we need. And so there is an iteration before we can get to the place of the dreamed reality.
Yes, yes.
It can
And
be
as
complex.
yes, as you are saying about that, it reminds me Vino and Vision coaching, right? So the reason for Vino and Vision coaching, where we combine the logic and the creativity together, right?
Yeah.
So dream is the module that initiates that creativity, the other side of the brain. So think about that for a second. So logic is what we are made of, and then we have this other side that is called creativity that combines and makes us holistic. So one of the quote I posted today is about AI, and I want to share you, and this is a debate going on about AI world, and I want to share that here so so you can you can also see my quote about the AI, and the other side of the of the intelligence is called TI, which is true intelligence. So let's share that, and we'll talk about that a little bit. This is very connected in the conversation that we are having here. So as you can see, my quote about AI is less than TI is equal to infinity. So AI TI is equal to infinity. The problem with AI is less than TI. So that means AI is driven by logic, and TI is driven by logic and imagination and creativity, which is the infinite knowledge. So let's talk about this for a second, and it relates to dream significantly. So in AI, what we are building is an artificial intelligence. That's what we call it. We named it, and we named it properly because artificial intelligence is what it is. It's created artificially, and it's created artificially by us,
Yes.
human brain. So we created it. So that's mean it can have all the logic in the world and combine it to create something very significant. And it can be unknown, it can be that we have not seen it before. Artificial intelligence can do that. But artificial intelligence is limited to human thinking, and which is limited to logic. And that's where the dream come. Dream is infinite, okay? Because it goes into the zone where there is no limit. And true intelligence, which I call TI, exceeds or supersedes AI because TI can go in that area and it never ends. So that theory of mine is a belief of mine that AI will never be able to cross TI because it's less than TI. So the true intelligence that we are created with is not created by us, right? So TI
Yes.
was not created by us. It was created by whoever, right? I don't want to be religiously limited, but it's created by God, created by a supreme power, and that is TI, with the infinite knowledge and wisdom and all those other things, including dream that was given to us, right? So AI is limited by our knowledge. So you can combine 8 billion people in the world and put all their knowledge together, all the history together, all the scientific discovery together, and put it in AI, and AI can do significant things, but it cannot cross TI, as you can see. So the dream module that we actually touch that TI means you as a human being have the power to go to the infinite zone. You have the power to go to the infinite zone. And if you go to the infinite zone and you find what you're looking for and bring it to the reality, then it becomes reality and it becomes the real goal. So from dream, it converts to a goal, and then it's reality. So for example, a cell phone was a dream at one point, right? And it became a goal and it became a reality. Now it's normal, right? So there is things in the dream that we have not been able to find yet. Once we find it, we can create that. So innovation is one of the key things that we use in dream. Do that make sense?
Yes, I thank you. I think it's a very important discussion. From my perspective, my language is slightly different. This is why I love our talks because
Yes, yes.
we're aligned, and yet the language we speak is slightly different. But that's just a pure example of what I want to touch on in terms of consciousness and connection. Because what you're talking about to me is that we have a conscious and the unconscious and subconscious connection to source. Whatever label we want to use, we have a creative spark inside of us, and the portal for me is the heart, that feeling state. And so, what you're saying to me is, and the way I'm interpreting it in my language, the way that I come to life and my work and how I've embodied it, and also because the animals are a part of that for me too, is logic not able to touch the connection based on the feeling of the heart.
Fantastically.
And that is where the portal to our creativity is and why the dreaming state is important. Now, when we talk about dreaming state, we already defined what that is for our purposes here. And we look at indigenous populations. They talk about, in shamanic perspectives, dreaming our reality into being. Again, it's a heart felt, it's a feeling, it's that connection to the heart that we can connect with each other in a way that is unseen. It's not about logic. And in fact, if we try and make it logic, we lose the tangibility, we lose the context, we lose the ability to sense it because we're trying to reduce it and funnel it down. And so that's what you're speaking to, I feel, when you have created an equation that is a representation for you of that. So that's a very important point because it's important for us, I believe, to not forget who we are. We have tools that support us, whether it's AI, whether it's social media, that's fabulous. Email, even this technical connection we have today,
Yes,
it's wonderful. And yet, if we don't ground it in the sacredness of what it is to be human, which is the heart-based connection, we might lose the beauty of all of it together. Because it's not just one thing, which logic says A plus B equals C. It's not. It is the conglomeration of the creativity of who we are and our consciousness, which is still controversial because we don't really know how to measure it because we live in a materialist world and the intangible is often very difficult to measure. So
yes,
I feel it's a very important conversation. I'm very pleased to have this with you today.
yes. One of the key thing that you mentioned is about heart centered, right? So heart um, is not logic,
No,
right?
absolutely not.
And that's the fascinating part. And we talk about love session, right? We talked in February about love. Heart is not logic, and
No,
that's the
it's not.
feeling, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the feeling embedded in us,
Yes.
and it can be infinite level of thinking. And that's the two different thinking that we are talking about, AI and TI, true intelligence, go where AI cannot go because of that feeling, because of that vast unknown that we like to go explore. AI can go up to a limit, but it cannot cross that limit because it's created by us. So which is fascinating, because when we talk about dream and we run into some people who are like, oh, I know my dream, this is my dream, and that's what I'm going to do. Well, if you know your dream, that's not a dream. Means you already brought it to a reality, and now you are working on getting to achieve that. That's an action items. That's a goal. Your dream became a goal. That's not a dream anymore. What is dream is unknown.
And you
Means
know, go. I I'm just, you're stimulating some ideas in my mind, so I apologize. Go ahead.
Well, the thing is there is that that you have yet to explore and find.
Yes.
So if you already verbalize the dream, that's mean you already know what it is and you're going to achieve it. That's why you're setting up the goals. Means you have already crossed the dream line and you cross the line to bring it to the goal line. Now you have other possibilities that you have not explored. And that's where you need to. So when you work on dream segment of our coaching, you continue to look for things that you have not seen before. So if you have not seen it, how can you verbalize it, right? How can you tell me this is your dream? You should not be telling this is your dream. You should be telling this is my goal, because you already verbalized it. It's became a goal. Means you can see it, feel it, and touch it. You just haven't achieved it. You just need to go achieve it. But dream remains the unknown, and means when you continue to explore dream, you continue to find hidden gold, and you need to bring those and start using them as a goal. And that's the difference between understanding dream now or dream in the future, and connecting that to a level of heart-based thinking that you are talking about, which is the feelings. What do you feel? How it touches you, how it enhances you, all those key things. And I think you are you know touching the significant conversation that have to have at some point about how brain and heart connects together.
Yes.
We when we talk about heart, we think about that physical round shape heart or apple shape or whatnot. That's not what we are talking about. We are talking about that sense and that feeling that is not limited by imagination.
And you know, there is so many ideas and thoughts that are coming to my mind as you speak, as you know.
Yes.
I'm itching to get them out. So, um, I feel like when we are in that very, what you term logic mind, it's very static. And the static means that it's, to me, it's not dynamic. And we get stuck. We get stuck in this is the way it should go. This is the way it needs to be. This is where I'm going. That's how I'm going to get there. However, what you touched on, which is what I was wanting to share also, is having a thoughts off approach rather than hands off, a thoughts off approach where you explore and allow things to unfold. Because if we look, in order to make that cell phone, it didn't just happen. There were iterations, and it was based on the development of the individual. And as we go through anything in our lives and we reflect upon it, and we're able to learn something from it if we're not projecting what we think we already know. And so, by not projecting what we think we already know, we open the unfolding envelope of the cosmic creativity. And then we allow an exchange to happen in that subconscious, unconscious place, which we call dream, to be able to expand our experience within the dreaming reality. So that we're not locked down and static, we're dynamic, which is who we really are. And right there is speaking to also the difference between what you were talking about, artificial intelligence, and the conscious gift of creativity within us as a spark of source, the spark of the cosmic rhythms, and allowing that envelope to unfold and open without us locking it down into something we think we already know. Because we can't learn in a space where we think we know everything and we already know it. We're not open. And yet, if we are, We're just going to be cracking open the cosmic egg, so to speak, to be able to let the light in. And it's like, oh, I have an epiphany. There's an
Exactly.
enlightenment piece about what just occurred to me. Let me run with that and let me see what other aha moments I have. And that is where we feel that passion, that spark right here, which is the heart space that we were talking about before. And it's like, I thought it was this, but actually it's going this direction. Oh, yes.
Oh my God. Right?
Yes. And then from there, that is a visionary leader. A
Mm.
visionary leader. Now we're envisioning differently. That's what we've been talking about all this time.
Yes.
What I think.
Yes. Yes. And the when so the to bring it in a visual level is going to the unknown where there is no limit.
Mhm.
Means you can sit there and start thinking about yourself flying or just going to space or whatnot, whatever unknown. You can dream anything you want to dream because dream allows you to do so. Okay, because you can go to that infinite zone and be anybody and anything and any state you want to be. Just imagine that level of thinking. That means you are not limited by imagination. You are not limited by your current level of thinking. And it is infinite possibilities. So when you are in infinite possibilities zone and you are standing on a mountaintop looking at the infinite possibilities zone, you're, you cannot stop thinking, right? So the role of a coach is to bring you from the things that you want or need or can be to reality. Because some people will say, okay, when you are in an infinite zone, you are unreal because that's not real. But our goal as a coach, and that's what we do day in, day out, is bring that from unreal to real. Means now you can touch it, feel it, and see it. Right? Think about that power when you are bringing something from unknown to the known phase and touch it, feel it, and see it. And we just convert it to a goal. And you achieve that goal means you brought something from unknown to our known world. And then it's become so simple, like, so, oh, it's, like a cell phone is simple for us today. One of the, and I may misquote it, but one of the quote by Nelson Mandela was, it seems so simple until it's done, or something like that. I don't have the exact quote, but it's like it took 40 years of a struggle to make it happen. And then when it's happened, it's simple because we feel it, touch it, and we know that it's a reality. But think about it, it took how many years of struggle to achieve that, right? So that's the power of dream.
So I was thinking while you were talking that sometimes I teach my clients to stop thinking purely because the act of thinking keeps us locked in what we already know. So, what you're talking about and what I'm talking about is a different type of thinking. It's the heart space, it's an intuitive, you could say it's an intuitive way of being where we're in the moment. And in the moment as it unfolds, is sharing with us the beauty and the sacredness of what could be, what is. And it's a different type of thinking. And it is putting logic aside to be able to access the richness, the texture, the colors, the imagery. of the world. Often it's called the right brain, but we don't. It's a long conversation, but we don't have time to go too much into that part. But to look at the richness of that as opposed to locking it down to the thinking. So, and the logical thinking, which is I want to make sure we talk about. And yes, we complicate things with our thinking. And when we have the heart involved and it's really heart thinking, it's a very different type of experience.
Yes.
Then, when we use our intellect after we have gathered heart intelligence, so to speak, and we use our intellect in the correct way to put things into place as best we know at this point in our evolution, then we're able to express these in goals and so the language I use is slightly different, but I think it's cool for us to be able to talk this way and to meet each other because we're showing through our discussion how we facilitate change and support bringing dreams and goals into the present reality.
Yes. And what you are mentioning there is what we call mindfulness, right? Like meditative state where you don't think anymore. You stop thinking. And we use that in Vino and Vision a lot about yoga and mindfulness and meditation. Is you stop thinking and let be, right? So that that opens infinite possibilities, and that's a zone. It's a peace zone where you don't have all the complexities that you already have built in, right? That goes away and it opens the path for infinite possibilities. So which is the dream module is very good at. It's one of the most complicated, most difficult one to coach, and it's most difficult one to understand because most people align it with goals instead of dream, and that's why it's a separate module in Vino and Vision that completely. So as you are saying that when you stop thinking, something else takes over your mind, which is not controlled by you anymore, right? You are in autopilot. And that's where the limitation of AI is not autopilot. It cannot regenerate and create. It's limited by our intelligence. So there is a supreme intelligence that is driven by real intelligence, which is yet to be uncovered. So that debate, I'm pretty sure, will continue
There's much
forever.
more.
Yeah,
There's
there are much
much,
more.
much
When you
more.
touch the infinity, you have no limit, right?
Yes.
So with that said, it's fascinating how quickly our time and I'm fascinated by this conversation we are having, and there's much to discuss on this space because dream actually is infinite. And there's a lot to discuss here, and a simple 30-minute session will create the conversation, but we will never, uh, because it's infinite zone, you cannot complete the conversation. You just
There's
let it flow.
right. There's a deeper discussion to it. I think that
Yes,
um, yes, there's just not enough time.
yes, there is not even the enough time of our lifetime.
Yeah,
So there
there's
will be discussion about that way beyond us, right? So
yeah. Mm.
so fantastic. And uh, next module, next month, we will be starting our self dimension. And the first
Ooh.
module in the self dimension is self discovery.
Ooh, I like this one.
Yes,
This
this
one,
one is,
we can go deep into this one too.
it is individualistic. It's for individual people, is for everybody because self discovery is needed before you know what you want to do. You need to know who you are and why you are. And
Ooh,
that's
we have a lot on this topic too.
these modules are very nicely done. So there is three modules there. We have self-discovery, and then from self-discovery, second one is positivity, because self need to be positive. And then from there, last module in the self dimension is motivation. Without motivation, self cannot move, and that's they're interrelated significantly. So you'll have fun with that,
I'm
and
sure.
I'm gonna have fun with that as well. So that's a beautiful conversation we're looking forward to have. Chiara, thank you very much for joining
Thank
me and
you.
contributing to this world and giving. We whatever we add a little at a time, and it's
Mm.
continue to be that infinite knowledge of human, right? So thank you again, and I
Thank
look
you.
forward to seeing you next month and discussing about self.
As am I. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks again.
All right, take care. Bye bye.
Bye.